Did Calliope have any enemies? The way you talk about her, she must have. What? What am I missing?
Well, Calliope had a way of making people angry. She could be argumentative.
Yes, but enough to make enemies who wanted her dead?
Not that you or I know of, apparently, but that doesn't mean they didn't exist.
What about Pan? He showed up at my place out of nowhere, right after I left the chorus.
He did what?
I have to wonder what his angle is.
He has one, that's for certain. Though I've never thought of him as a killer. It would be too messy.
Still, we should consider the idea. For him to show up so quickly is odd.
Couldn't we go to Athena with this? If you've changed your minds and you're both part of the chorus...
Athena would be sympathetic, but the die has been cast.
She won't go back on the edict, not without clear evidence.
Oh, now you want evidence?
She acted on the information she had. If we want to sway her, we need something better.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know the idols. Don't you have any ideas?
I told you I wouldn't be of much help, Grace.
Did you now? That's unsurprising. When are you ever of help to anyone but yourself?
Says the woman who forced Grace to challenge her rather than answer a simple question.
Calliope died, Apollo. Calliope, who came with us all the way from the old world.
You think I don't know that? Are you forgetting what the Muses meant to me?
Please, both of you! None of this will help Calliope. I know you both miss her. I know you cared about her, but she's not completely gone. A piece of her is in me. She came to me for help, and I don't want to die any more than she did.
Calliope, I'm listening now. Tell us what end you were doomed to.
Calliope, blinded by fire, what match did you strike that consumed you?
How could you blame her? What could she have done to earn such a fate? You are blinded.
God of the sun hides from his own eyes. What would you know about fate?
You say that you knew her, she was family to us, yet you don't hesitate to accuse her. Oh, queen without a throne, go bitter with fury. Not everyone seeks to betray you.
Stop this! Please remember what we are here to do.
We must avenge a muse.
Apollo, your help is not needed here. Go ahead and abandon another muse.
How could you throw that gauntlet at me? Could your heart shrivel any further?
You abandoned me to a terrible fate.
You replay your injuries till it's too late.
You know how far I bent before I snapped.
This is not about you. Enough! This helps no one.
There he is, God of the sun.
Apollo, for my sake, take a deep breath. I need your help, not your anger. These old wounds, they confine you. You're more than your pain.
She abandoned us.
Follow him or stay.
That was not my finest moment. Persephone will never let this go.
You kind of went dark and stormy back there. It was impressive.
I honestly thought I had left that behind me.
Left what? Signs of life? The world won't wither if you raise your voice, Apollo.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just wish old habits didn't return so easily around her.
Family thing, huh?
That's why I've tried to avoid my fellow idols for so long. I don't like who I am when I'm with them.
I know what you mean. I'll be 14 around my parents forever.
Try living in their house for 1,000 years.
Ooh, no thanks.
At least coming here was useful. You have a better idea of where to start looking, right?
I thought you'd decide that getting me into the underworld was enough.
What? Bring you to Persephone and then shrug? Not my problem now?
What I meant to say is... thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sorry, I'm not used to asking people for help.
It's all right. I certainly know that tune.
Where do we look then?
I need to give it some thought. This won't be easy. If another idol is behind this, they know as well. They had a plan.
So you don't know where to look next?
I need time to sort it out. Just be patient, Grace.
I have to ask, is Athena really not an option? She wouldn't see what you see? At all?
I respect Athena. She has dragged us into the modern age, sometimes kicking and screaming. She's why we're alive. But if I said that her need to keep us safe didn't drive her to extremes, I'd be lying. You represent a risk, Grace. To her, that is more important than any notion of compassion or justice.
I'm not that much of a risk, am I? I won't explode. What's the worst that could happen?
The worst is that we could be admitting either a murderer or a usurper into our ranks.
How awful.
She's protecting an idea as much as a physical reality. It's true. To her, there is no difference.
Is there anything I can do in the meantime? Someplace I can look?
Don't you want to relax? You haven't rested since this began.
Relax? Who can relax? I've been sentenced to death, Apollo.
Fair point. Even so, go home, Grace. The next time you see me, I'll have a better notion of what to do.
Fine. But I'm holding you to that. Hey, Freddy.
Hey.
Is everything okay?
Not really. I felt like crap after you left. I don't know why I acted like that. I just had this image of you being swept off into some new world without me.
You're apologizing. After I dumped the whole, hey, I'm a god thing on you, I'm the one who should be sorry.
No. I'm gonna cry.
Wait until after we figure out how to save my sorry life.
Okay, right you are. Tell me what's happened since I saw you last. Huh. Persephone runs a club called the Underworld. That's a little on the nose.
That's what I said!
And you ended up siding with Apollo? Lord of the Sun, god of prophecy? Do you trust him?
I'm not sure. I think so. It doesn't seem like he's lying, but he's hard to read.
Famous last words.
Tell me about it.
So, what are your options? You need to go back to Apollo's place, right?
I could go back to the underworld. Make sure Persephone isn't taking my decision personally.
Oh, and, there's this. Pan left a card. Says, come by Olympus. I doubt he means the mountain in Greece.
I just spoke to him at the underworld. If he wanted something, why didn't he just talk to me there?
Because he's creepy and wants to get you alone?
Still not a fan?
You know how some people just set your teeth on edge? That's Pan. I can't help it. But it doesn't matter. I said I'd help, and that's what I'll do. You can count on me, Grace.
Thanks, Freddie.
The muse! Oh, the embodiment of inspiration! Can you believe it?
Yeah, kinda.
As I recall, Grace, when I said stay or leave, you chose to leave. If it wasn't clear, I don't give second chances. Or did you have some other reason for darkening my doorstep?
Couldn't be here for the cool music and a drink? I definitely need one.
Am I supposed to believe you're here to blow off steam?
Why not? Don't you ever? Ooh, here I thought I could drink. Lady, you have my respect and admiration.
You'll have an idol's fortitude in time. Now, however, I need to call our little evening to an end.
Aw, so soon? I was just thinking how much I like the music here.
Oh, is that so? Well, the dance floor is that way.
Care to join me?
Oh, my dancing days are over, Grace. Do enjoy yourself. Drinks are on the house. But one last word of advice before you go. If you want to survive, don't look to anyone else for help. Not Apollo, not Pan, not even me. You walked away from my offer, and I respect that. Make your choices and live with them.
I'd say hello, Grace, but I'm afraid that look on your face might be catching.
What is this place?
It's a garden, darling. Surely even mortals have them.
This building. All those people I pass getting up here. Are they all idols?
Oh, at least some of them. Welcome to Olympus, dear Grace. Our home hidden away in plain sight. Marvelous, isn't it?
How many idols are there? I've met, less than 12?
Oh, I don't know, 20, 30. Our numbers have dwindled so much I've stopped keeping track.
I didn't know there were that many gods.
We're not all equally legendary, it's true. Some idols were barely worshipped, others not at all. Indeed, not all of us are idols. Some are merely immortal. Hangers-on, if you will. You'll meet them all, given time.
Idols live here? I mean, Calliope didn't, obviously. Apollo doesn't either.
One must have special dispensation from Our Lady of Wisdom, Athena, before they can take up a private dung heap like Apollo's.
Am I gonna have to give up my apartment?
That's rather putting the cart before the horse, darling. First, you must outlive the week.
Right. Good point. I've passed this part of the city 100 times. I've never seen this building. Was it always here, or...?
Our Lady Hecate provides glamours that allow certain things to go unseen, such as my glorious horns. Olympus is the same. Those invited see it. Those who aren't see exactly what they expect. It's not anywhere as grand as in the old country, but it It serves its purpose.
I don't know, Pan. Olympus seems pretty grand to me.
As if mortals would know any better. This isn't the first time you've been here. I'm sure Hermes took you to Athena's dreary office.
That's here? Huh.
Good one, that Hermes. Almost as dull-witted as the original, but biddable.
You asked me to meet you here?
I did. As I recall, you owe me a favor. A favor that I now wish to collect, if you'd be so kind.
Fine. But just so you know, I'm not doing anything that's against the rules. I already have one trial coming.
Grace, baby, Boobala. Have I ever led you astray?
Not yet.
Here's the thing. A friend has begged for my help, and you're far better suited than I to offer what he requires. I'll give you a key to reach the reliquary where he resides. You help him, and then we're even. If that's not enough incentive, the reliquary is also where you'll find the lovely Hecate. A sorceress of her power could aid your quest. What do you say?
This Hecate, do you think she could help me?
If she's of a mind. She is the goddess of dark magic, the creator of all our marvelous glamours. If anyone can help you, it is she.
And if she's not of a mind?
Then she won't help you. Grace, that part is up to you. I can't be expected to do everything, can I?
What is this reliquary? Doesn't that have something to do with the bones of saints or something?
Not those relics. Our relics. The relics of ancient gods. Magical treasures collected over thousands of years. Books, mainly. We store them in a faraway place so no one unsavory can get their hands on them.
Unsavory like you?
Unsavory like most. Athena has decreed that these relics are not to be used by any save Hecate and herself. A rather dull waste of so much amassed knowledge and power, but who am I to judge? I'm not leader of the chorus.
If these relics are off limits, does that mean they're dangerous?
Some, but I'm not asking you to chase after any of that nonsense. In fact, I'd advise against it.
But what if one of those relics could help me?
My, such an adventurer you are. It's possible, but ask Hecate first. She, and I mean this with complete and uncharacteristic seriousness, is not an idol you or anyone wishes to cross.
This person I'm to help, what does he want? And why can't you do it?
Well, Grace, there are some things you're better equipped to handle than I. This, as I understand it, is a delicate matter of the heart. One that requires a muse's hand.
A matter of the heart?
What, did you think I was sending you to rough someone up? Set something aflame? Don't be absurd. The man has an issue with his love life. Even if you can't help him, I'll treat the effort as worth the favor.
So that's it? Fix up someone's love life? Nothing trickier than that?
Oh, the way you talk, Grace. It makes me blush.
Well, it's just that...
I trade in willing favors, Grace. If I didn't, no one would want to do as I ask, and then where would I be? I may seem untrustworthy, but allow me to reassure you. If I wish you harm, you will walk into that harm knowingly, and with open arms.
You're saying you can talk me into anything?
Anything you would enter into willingly and with eyes wide open, which covers a great deal. Yes.
That's surprisingly ethical of you, Pan.
I find consent wildly attractive, Grace.
I'll think about it, but no promises.
Marvelous. The gentleman you seek is named Asterion. Lovely fellow, quite harmless. I'll send a package to your domicile that contains directions and the key you'll need to reach the reliquary.
I said no promises.
Well, if you decide to go, Grace, you'll still need all those things. Say hello to darling Hecate on my behalf, will you?
Ah, Grace, you're back. That's good. I was just about to call you.
He means he wants me to call you, because Paul here still hasn't figured out how to use a phone.
That's not true. I know how, I just don't like them. They're confusing. Anyhow, I've been contemplating our list of suspects, and I think Pan is someone we need to consider.
Wait. You don't like phones?
I just don't like talking to people I can't see.
No, it's the ringtones. They scare the crap out of him, I kid you not.
I'm not frightened. Only a child would be frightened. They're just very loud.
Yeah.
Can we return to the subject of Pan, please?
Why Pan? I thought you'd rejected him as a suspect.
Persephone did, but I've had time to think it over. Pan is a schemer, a traitor in favors. He always has been. His sudden appearance in all this cannot be coincidental.
You think he could have killed Calliope after all?
Perhaps. Or he knows who did and is trying to turn it to his benefit. He always knows more than he pretends.
I actually went to see Pan at Olympus. I guess that wasn't such a great idea?
Spoke to him again. Already.
For the third time. He was at the underworld, too. He wants me to repay a favor by helping someone at a place called the Reliquary.
The Reliquary? Now, why would Pan send you there, of all places? I don't like the sound of that.
I don't know why you're so suspicious. He seems relatively harmless.
Relative to what, Grace? How much do you really know about him? Aphrodite is holding a party of sorts, one you should attend. She is closest to Pan. Indeed, she knows almost all the idols. If anyone is up to something, she's bound to know.
You know Aphrodite better than I do. Can't you talk to her?
Well, talking to Aphrodite isn't something anyone does with much success these days.
Well, if that's the case, what makes you think I'll get anywhere?
There's a standing invitation for the Muse to attend this party. Calliope never went, so Aphrodite will be thrilled to see you. Trust me. If I thought you couldn't get her to talk, I wouldn't suggest it.
What do you mean by a party of sorts? I mean, I'm always down for a party, but...
It's more of a remembrance than a party, really. It's difficult to describe.
That's awfully vague, Apollo.
It'll be easier to see for yourself. It's nothing you can't handle.
Okay, I'll go. Eventually.
Perfect. I will see you there.
Paul, you should see this. The names you wanted me to look up are getting weird results.
I don't doubt it. I was hoping you could...
Get over here!
No worries, Paul. I'll see you later.
Welcome back, Grace. Is there something you came to discuss?
I'd like to know a little more about the idols. I am one now, right?
You are. What would you like to know?
Well, what are we? Where did we come from? If an idol is a soul that moves from person to person, it must have started somewhere, right?
The short answer is, we don't know. If I think far enough back, I can remember bits and pieces. I remember my first Pythian games, the day the idols split in two over Troy, the day my first son died. But before that, nothing. None of us do. I vaguely recall the very first Apollo many thousands of years ago, but was he the original? Did he appear out of the ether? I couldn't tell you.
Psst. Isn't it strange to not know where you come from? For all you know, the idols could be aliens.
Interesting. The notion that there might be some other place far away where we're the norm is comforting. Sadly, our memories are filled with blanks. There was a war with beings we called the Titans. A terrible conflict where half our number died, yet do I remember a single battle. The last was after Rome fell. Zeus called us together to relay the news, told us to prepare for battle. And then, in the blink of an eye, I was in the 16th century. What made us forget 1,000 years? What happened during that time? We don't know. Athena calls that period the gap.
The gap you mentioned. What was that like? Did you just wake up one day, or...
I know I was alive. I passed on my eidolon who knows how many times, yet the moment I woke up, as you call it, all memory of that period was gone. It was Athena who found us. I was in France, I think. She came to my farm, and the moment I laid eyes on her, I just knew. It all came back. Did someone do that to us? Did we scatter to the winds for 1,000 years on purpose? It's a mystery.
What about Athena? I mean, she's the one who found you, right? She must have been aware.
Athena claims she awoke on her own and spent the next century locating the other idols. We've pieced together very little of the gap or of our origins. We simply live with it. Gods we may be, but I'm afraid we don't have all the answers.
Tell me more about Calliope. You and her were good friends, right?
For centuries, we were far more. I was the god of the arts, and the muses were my constant companions. We went everywhere together. They had many names, but the three most common were Clio, Talia, and Calliope. The sisters of beauty, I called them, though they weren't always women.
I never thought of that. Do idols change gender a lot?
Most of us seek out inheritors who are like us, I suppose, but not all. Calliope, in fact, was a man in her previous incarnation. Christoph, I think his name was. A poet Calliope adored. I was surprised when she made him a muse.
Who did Calliope become after that poet, Christoph?
You have to realize we're already into the period where Calliope and I weren't really speaking. She showed up one day in her new form, the one you met. An opera singer whose name she never revealed. We fought, as I recall. I told her she couldn't pass on every time she met an artist she fell in love with. Eventually she'd forget everything about who we were and where we came from. She said she'd rather forget than wallow in old memories like I or the other idols were doing. It was time to wake up and make the best of our situation. Calliope was an idealist without compromise. Always. She hated what we'd become. What I'd become. She wasn't wrong.